All
well,
right.
West Des Moines now. But
Well, now
hey,
you
we
relocated.
Yep, I did.
You're talking
a couple
about that.
years ago.
How when'd you get up here?
About close to 3 years ago now.
Oh wow,
Nice.
I didn't know you were living. Man, I was here for like that long.
I didn't know either. I didn't know where you were at.
Yeah.
But it's
Well, we were in
nice
West Des
station.
Moines the first in 2017, between 2017 and 2018.
Roughly, yeah.
We lived in over on was it 50th Street in Woodland Avenue
That's right where I'm
by
at.
the school.
And then
Yeah.
after a couple years of me hammering him to get a house,
Right.
he finally believed he could do it and pulled the trigger and did it.
Yeah, dude, it's so weird how it happened. Like, I didn't even think I was gonna get out because my credit was bad. I kept like trying to get applications through, and I was getting denied everywhere I went. And then my landlord happened to be a realtor, and he asked me like 2 years into the rental. He's like, "So you guys thinking about buying a house?" And I was like, "I don't think I'll qualify." I was so negative. I was like, "I don't think we'll qualify." And he's like, "Well, have you tried?" I was like, "No." "Well, can I try with you? Because I'm so tired going everywhere and submitting applications and getting rejected." He's like, "Yeah, come on over." So he took me to his loan officer at his office. I submitted the paperwork. And then that guy was like, "Yeah, man, you qualify. Just put $500 down and go look for a house." And I gave him a $500 check. He's like, "We won't cash it till you find something."
There you go.
And I just kind of started looking around. And every time I saw a house on Zillow, it was gone, like instantly. Like from the time I picked up and called the realtor, it was just gone. Then I saw this one down here. It was sitting for like 180 days. It was like on the market for a long time. And most people will be like, "That's a problem. Stay away from it." But my Trinidad Caribbean mindset was like, maybe something I could fix or something I could deal with. Let me go check it out because I could get it for a steal, which I did because they had it listed at 200. And when we finally, and the pandemic hit right at the moment I made the offer. So I made an offer at 180 for that house. And the pandemic hit and I backed out. I was like, "Hey, if we're going to lose our jobs, I don't want to go into a house." So I call him and I'm like, "Hey, I think I want to back out." He's like, "You're going to lose your $500." He's like, "I'd rather lose $500 than go into a pandemic with no job." You know? He's like, "That's fine." He's like, "Mahesh, maybe try to counter the offer." They'll probably, because they were holding at 190. And I said, "Okay, well, just let them know I won't do anything less than 160 or I'm out." And he said, "Okay." So I guess they got back in touch with the couple. It was an elderly couple. They were already in the nursing home. And they just replied, "Yeah, sure. We'll let it go for 173. That was the counter they gave back. And they took it.
Nice.
And I took it.
Yeah.
And my wife and I just moved in within about 2 or 3 months after that.
That's great. And
So it just kind of flowed. I wasn't even trying to get it. I was almost like this going into the house. But it's not me, man. It's something above me. It just put me there. So
yeah, sometimes things work out we don't expect.
yeah.
And
And I spent years because I started in Florida looking for a house. And Florida was a really tough market, man. And unless you got really good credit and at least $200,000 in the bank, forget about looking for a house in Florida. I mean, just a little hole in the wall is like.
Well, just imagine
yeah.
what your house would be priced at in Florida, in the area you were at. If your house
half
was
a
picked
mil,
up- yeah.
half a mil easy.
Yeah.
Half a mil.
I know. I always love that about the Midwest that we live in right now.
Yeah. Economy's great out here. You get
people-
more for we started in
People's
Florida.
minds are blown when they come from East Coast, West Coast, anywhere, and they see how we're living. They're like, "Holy cow!"
Sell it,
yeah.
Jim.
Oh, yeah.
Sell it.
Like
If you're listening.
people living in like a flat for $2,500 a month.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here you get a mansion for $2,500, or
I
at least you get a 4 or 5 bedroom house with a swimming pool.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
You guys' mics need to come up a little more if you can. Yeah. Okay, I'm hearing you guys like in and out. There you go.
there we go.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
what brought you to West Des Moines anyway?
Work? Rural Iowa just wasn't doing it for me, and I chase a lot of tech startups, and so
I know. From the day I met you, you were always doing your own thing. You was very excited about it. You always had a very upbeat persona kind of going out there.
Yeah, I do get that a little bit. Sometimes overly optimistic, but you got to get out there and swing the bat, or else you'll never
Right.
hit it. So I'm like, I don't do employee very well.
Right.
Never have.
You're looking at,
Well, I am an employee at the moment, but
but you're a self-employed employee. You you do. You call
Right.
your own shots. You do your own thing. You're on your own. I mean, there's no boss sitting over your shoulder.
I'll edit that out in case my boss is watching. So I'm pretty sure they're watching.
Yeah. So, you know, I've had a couple of good runs and a whole bunch of swinging and missing.
Right.
But, you know, you've got your ups and downs. We live
Oh,
the
yeah.
high life, and
That's
we've been broke, but what the heck? You know, I run my own show. I decide if I'm going to get up or not, and,
right.
you know, and who I want to deal with and who I don't want to deal with. So that's freedom right there.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
America right there, man.
Well, that's
That's the idea of what.
you're in the same mindset as me. This is the very reason I named this facility Freedom Self Storage. The word freedom means so much to me, and as it does to you, I can tell. Without it, I mean, you know, if you're doing something you enjoy, you never work a day in your life. Isn't that true?
100%. Definitely. And since we're on the topic of freedom,
Right.
I wish people had more respect and understanding of how important their freedom really is.
Absolutely. I
Mm.
agree.
Because it would help us all out a lot if people would put their foot down and not just follow orders.
I was watching, you know, Tim Dillon, the comedian.
Yeah.
He was on Joe Rogan a while ago, and he did a little bit where he was like, "Joe, what are you talking about? I mean, people don't want freedom. Everybody just wants their pizza." And he goes on this whole rant. But even though he was joking, it's kind of true. People kind of just got sedated and like just want somebody to tell them what to do, which is a dangerous thing. Because when you get a population of people just kind of hanging back and it's like, tell us what to do next. That's like Nazi Germany all over
From
again,
a
man.
very young age, I can only really speak for people in this country.
Yeah.
We've been conditioned to not really pursue our own full potential, or to, you know, if people realize how much potential they actually have,
Right.
they would cherish their freedom very much. But we've all been taught that
Lulled.
to be mediocre,
Right.
to stand in line, and, you know, don't stick your head out too much, or it's gonna get
It's a
whacked.
conditioning thing. Yeah.
It is, and it was part of the Industrial Revolution and the you know, the influence that those call them robber barons had over the public education in this country.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a sad state. It needs to be overhauled completely, and people from a very young age need to realize, need to be taught, instilled upon their unlimited potential. You know, we need to have people teaching kids that you are the future.
Right.
Right.
Lead the way. Let me push you out in front. Get out there and go do your thing. Let us support you. That's not what we teach them. So we have a bunch of, you know, unfortunately, people that do that, stand in line.
Right.
I mean,
Follow orders.
self-esteem has literally been ripped out of the educational system. They do not,
added in.
No, they totally took self-esteem away. They don't give any kids self-esteem. No, just
Oh,
like
you mean they relabeled it? Like they replaced something else and called it self-esteem?
they don't
'Cause
teach. They don't teach self-esteem. I mean, there's kids that are motivated and have self-esteem and have gotten accolades and stuff. But look at what's going on in Virginia. They won't even, if they win these accolades, they get top of their class, top of their field, top of anything. They was actually holding back the awards that these kids won because they didn't want other kids to feel bad about it.
That's in Virginia.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, they cater to the lowest common denominator.
Right. And, you know, if you go to a kid's soccer game or a baseball game or anything, they don't even keep score. You know, everybody's a winner. Everybody gets an award, you know. That's not real self-esteem. Real self-esteem is the guy next to you competing with you and knowing that you gave it your best. Even if the guy that came in second place, he knows he gave it his best. He feels pretty good for himself. But in this day and age, you know, what does it matter to even try? I know I'm going to get an award anyway, so what the heck?
And that's
I'll
on
just show up.
purpose.
I'll
That's
just
on
show up.
purpose. That's
Okay.
part of the grooming process of getting the society lulled into this kind of like, and that's the thing I try to get people to understand when I talk to them. I was like, don't you for 1 second think this is just some accident. This is something that's been pre-planned and planned going back decades and introduced into the school system, slowly leaching into the society. And these people leave and they go and become parents and they just pass that on to their kids. And they go to universities or they go into politics. Well, don't talk about that. But I mean, it's not an accident. It's almost like you're giving the enemy what they want. They're handing it to them on a platter and saying, here you go. I mean, here's America, baby. Take it, So
I find so many interesting parallels from the movies that you see. Like people are living in a Truman Show. Like they only know what they've been told to be the truth, not what is really the truth.
Right.
So you only know what you know, and if you are raised, in a fishbowl, and they're said fishbowl is all there is.
Right.
Then you will.
You don't
act
strive to
accordingly.
find out anything else.
So I'm hopeful, though, because of the situation in world conditions now, that there's enough people kind of realizing, where this train is headed, and
Yeah, we have a new woke society, not the woke movement, but
Right.
people that are really waking up and seeing what's going on right now. There's quite a few out there, and I think